I remember when I was 3 years old, back at nursery, singing this song. Some of you might have heard of it. It was about a wise man who built his house upon the rock and a foolish man who built his house upon the sand. Looking back now, I see there's a clear message that the best way to allow all of us to reach our full potential is to provide us with firm foundations from which to build our lives. In the song, these foundations were a physical rock, but now I see them as financial. And that is enough money to cover our basic necessities, food on our table, roof over our head, heat and light, before you earn extra money through paid employment. Because that is the idea I want to share with you tonight, that we shouldn't have to work just to survive. This might sound controversial, but consider this with me. Because if work is just about survival, just about putting food on your table, just about paying your bills, or even just about struggling to make it to the end of the day, week, or the month, then it is very difficult for anyone to look beyond that. For it is only when our survival is covered that we can look past the question of what do I need to do to survive and ask ourselves, what do I want to do to live? The benefits of being able to ask this question can be seen right here at this university. Hundreds, if not thousands of students are part of a vibrant community of student-led organisations, societies, social enterprises, charities, newspapers, all kinds of things. And right in the middle, the Buchanan Institute, Edinburgh's first student-led think tank, which I and a few others set up back in January. Now, none of us do these things because we have to, but because we love doing them. And for many of us, they almost become like full-time jobs, except ones where we don't get paid. Now, I was lucky. I had enough money for a combination of student loans and allowances to cover my basic necessities without needing to work. And I stress this because if any of us who set up the Buchanan Institute had to work 40 hours, 30 hours, even 20 hours a week on top of our studies just to cover our basic necessities, then there's no way we could have had the time and energy necessary to set up the Buchanan Institute. Now let me take you to the Namibian village of Otjivaro Omatara, because it is here where an organisation called the Basic Income Earth Network conducted a simple yet groundbreaking experiment. Between January 2008 and December 2009, they gave every single villager a basic income that was enough to cover their basic subsistence. Freed from reliance on low-paid wage labour, the villagers could choose what they did with their life, many deciding to set up their own small businesses, becoming dressmakers, brickmakers or bread bakers. Hundreds of children who had to leave school previously because of pressures to earn money for their families could now return to school. The community invested in infrastructure, agriculture, and even made their own system of governance. And all this because they no longer had to work just to survive. So what about the UK? Could we do something similar here? Well, actually, yes. An organisation called the Citizens Income Trust have shown that by simply reorganising our existing tax and benefit system, we could provide every single UK adult with £3,700 a year without hardly spending an extra penny. And the Swiss? Well, they could go further, much further. In 2016, they will have a popular referendum to decide whether to introduce a basic annual income equivalent to almost £21,000 a year for every Swiss citizen. So a situation where nobody needed to work just to survive isn't some utopian pipe dream. In fact, it's very doable and may well define our future. About 3 months ago, I was in the hospital just after my sister gave birth to my nephew, and her son, of course. And I remember holding this little cute thing in my arms and looking into its eyes and thinking at the time, you know, these questions about the future and what kind of society we could live in aren't just for our generations, but for the ones behind us, the ones being born and yet to be born. And when he grows up, and if he gets round to asking his uncle for some advice about work and life, probably wishful thinking, but anyway, I'd like to tell him something similar to what you guys might want to tell to your kids or even do. That, you know, Rafi, that's his name, don't just work because you feel you need to, but do it to do what you love. Now, I hope my nephew will always have the opportunity to do this, and that he never has to work just to survive. So let's provide this opportunity to everybody so that every single one of us can at least ask ourselves, not what do I need to do to survive, but what do I want to do to live? Thank you very much.